Okay, good morning.
Good morning. We are in Shulam Adalid Sif Test. The Hilchos saving stuff from fire or other events. You can tell other. The issue over here is if he comes to start saving stuff too much, he's gonna get all anxious and put the fire out. So you can tell other people, come. You can also take, come. Everyone have child. Come save Gimel Sudos. Yichol Lilbosh, Kamash Yuchol Lilbosh. Everyone can, and try on whatever the clothing you want. Fire sale, whatever. In road seems Zeichim B'Amin a Hefker. And you can also say, sorry about that.
Better you than me.
And he can also say, anyone wants to be zeicha from Hefker. Kivan she'amar hatzidu lachem. It said for you, say for you, v'einam roitzi liskos el roitzi lach zero, the kabel schar, it's a loss of reshus b'yadam. If they want to take it and then give it back, to get actual money for her, to pay for her tzol, they don't want to take his things. Reshus b'yadam below havi schar Shabbos, because there is a din of someone who's matzil. It's like more in the, where is it? It's halachos in the Hashavos Aveda. You're allowed to ask for some sort of reward or something for saving for someone's stuff. The thing I just want to point over here, you mentioned before, we're not talking about a raging fire, because the halacha is in Choshen Mishpat, if you say something from a raging fire, it's considered zutul shel yam, and it's completely hefker. Here, he's telling them, if you want, it's hefker. So it's obviously, we're not talking about the case where there's a raging fire, talking about the case where there's, his table's on fire. And it's not gonna, and hopefully it won't spread, it might spread, let's get everything out of the house, or something like that. Because if it was a case where, things were basically like, okay, you're gonna go and jump into everything is lost, so then that's automatically hefker, you don't have to say anything. Any Chatzala we're talking about is only to a Chatzar Cheres if there's an Eruv, Alo She'ena Mureves, but not to one which is not, which there's no Eruv. However, by Malbushim we are Mekel, but if they're wearing even Rishus Rabim, if they're putting on 10 pieces of clothing, that's also mutter. In this case, and even Rishus Rabim, that's what I mean. That's the Ramah. Some say we're talking about only to a Chotzer which is close to Rishus Rabim. It's not like it doesn't have to be a roof. The Dami of Rishus Rabim. That's why there's a Gzeira. Because she's going to carry. About the bias achesh erev imo, if it's going to a different house that there's that they're going ahead in the erev imo, yachol lahoitzi kamashiyot. So let's say there's a fire in the in an apartment building in his dira here in Eretz Yisrael, and he wants to bring it to his neighbor's house. That he could take it out into the outside into mureves. Afal chatzer lo amar elo lachatzer chaveiro. All the time when the problem is Chatzah Chavera, but the Chatzah Shalo to put into his yard, She'enet Tzricha Eruv, Yachol Lahoitzi Kol Asher Yirtzeh. Some say that's the whole issue, is Hoitzah, you can take out whatever you want. Yish Oim She'ein Chiluk, that there's no Chiluk, that it has nothing to do with Hoitzah. The Shaila over here is simply, is he going to put the fire out or not, so therefore it doesn't make a difference where you're taking it out to, that is a Chash, you might come to put the fire out. You base kol kisvei kodesh matzilim. You can go and save any kisvei kodesh. Ahidna mipnei hadleika v'kar anything which is even nowadays. V'korim b'hen afilu ksuvim b'chol lashon. That anything nowadays, even to anything which is written in any lashon, you have English svarim, actual svarim. I don't know. I didn't see any discussion about chilukim about it. If we're talking about Sipuri Tzadikim, it could be not. Actual svarim that are written in Mechol Lashon. There's a discussion about people's notes and things that have kedusha, not have kedusha. But Panim, if it's things like I don't know, like certain magazines could be, I don't know, it's a suffix, I don't know if you'd be allowed to, because it could be this, it's a suffix kedusha, I don't know, it's like this, anything which is vaday kedusha, you should save. I feel ksuvim b'sav b'sikra, which means tzivonim v'chol davar. It doesn't have to be a halachically kosher sefer Torah or anything. Chein adbeya brachos shetavu chachamim, or a list of brachos. You have kriya shema lamita, something like that, or bencher. V'tzilay something adleika b'kol makom haturfa pirush makom magula v'hefker. Or if it's Shabbos and you see a bencher or anything like that, then you're allowed to, take it and save it. V'chein targum shekasvu ivri, yagar sadusa, if it's just like let's say it's a dictionary or something and it says yagar sadusa in Parshas Vayetze, uchnat temun lahon, even though it's a targum, whatever, ivri shekasvu, Targum of a Lashon Acher She'oisa Ambikimbo, or any other Lashon, any art scroll, foreign things like that, it's mutter to save. V'chein Sefer Torah Sheish B'Lalaket Pei Oisios Yitoch Teva Shleimos, he can shalom to a certain degree, or Sheish Askara, Matzil that if there's still a chelik, let's say it's all torn up, I don't know, whatever, Chas v'shalom, but you can still save, still pay Osios on the daf, there's a Shem Hashem, then also you're allowed to save that. You give all Yesh V'She'omer the Megillas Esther Hova Ein Ba'az Karos, Megillas Esther, there's no Shem Hashem, Im Enek Suva K'mishpata, Ashuris Al Ha'or Ub'dio, so you have a printed Megillah, Ein Ba Kedusha L'Hatzil V'Havdeika, it has no Kedusha to save it from Havdeika, but I do think that the minig is that because they shayla eis lasos, but it's a shayla, anything that it is interesting that it has, I guess it has to be the stuff of the other lashonos, has to have kedusha. Although Magen Avraham says that the issue is that was only time of Chazal, but nowadays Eitz Lasais, because we're matter any sefer to be written. Megillas Esther is not worse than than an art scroll shoftim or whatever. Hakameim yesh ben psukim ein matzilim v'yisavleim. Like even those psukim in the kameim, we don't save them. Yesh omim shematzilin, because the ma'isa it is that the ma'isa is that there are skaros. But if it's Takashem Hashem, some say you save it. If it's just Kameis with different tzirufim and things or whatever, then Lav Dafki, there's machlokes whether you save it. But Tzilim Tik HaSefer Im HaSefer, if you have some sort of mantle or something, the Tik HaTfilin Im HaTfilin, you're allowed to go ahead and save the tefillin bag. Even if there's money, car keys, things like that. Huadin l'sharkis v'kodesh. Even if there's money inside, or I don't know, different muks of things, you're allowed to save it. If your tefillin is sitting in your wallet for some reason, in your money bag, you're allowed to save it from Dleika or Ganavim, l'makom sheyachol lahatzil tefillin, any place you can save the tefillin. But if you know there are Ganavim coming, you can't just put your tefillin in your money bag and then, okay, now it's mutter for me to move it. That you can't do. It's only something that was there Erev Shabbos that happens to be there. Whether you could do that with Chachila, I don't know. It could be designed for the tefillin. Someone will come steal it, so you put tefillin there so you can move it. I don't know. I'm not sure about that. Yesh batirim nahatzil diski amaleim nos. It's a money belt or something, pouch, yeah. It's full of money. Al de kika or tinaik, dleika. You're allowed to look at by a mace. You're allowed to put a kikar or a kid on it. I don't know, whatever. You can put a loaf of bread on it, or challah omin agenovim, v'agazlanim. The dafka the reshus hayachid. That's dafka. It's a reshus hayachid. Aval lo lachatzu she'enu moreves. because here we're choshesh you're going to carry it. Matzilim asfarim afil l'chasar she'enim u'reves. The svarim you're allowed to take out even chasar she'enim u'reves. U'lamavui p'shemachnu shchnasim b'menu l'chatzeros. That's like a side street and alley. Shulin shtadfubo. There's a sheet of mavos that we're going to get to Hichos Erevin soon. Be'ez Hashem. U'vad shiu bo shalosh b'chitzos. V'lechi, that as long as even there's no shituf, they didn't do partnership, whatever, the shutfim, but as long as it's technically the mutter to carry in the mavui, that there's three walls, it's not foolish, it's not open, and there's a lechi on the entrance, there's some sort of post on the entrance, and that's how you're matter. Like I said, we'll get to Hichos Erevin.
Why is kikar or tina better than tefillin? Or is it tefillin is only because in the previous it's about
saving the tefillin, because you're allowed to save the tefillin.
Saving the tefillin to a certain makom.
Right, you can only move it to a place where you're saving the tefillin, even if the money might get stolen over there, but it's enough to save the tefillin from the fire or from whatever.
So can you use the tefillin like a kikar or a tina?
No, you can't move tefillin. Yeah, if it's in there, that's the whole point. If it's in there already, it's in there, but you can't put it in there to move it. You can't put it in there to move. You can save the tefillin, but you have to take the tefillin out. You can't just move the whole bag. If you can't put the tefillin on Shabbos, because then you're not.
But you could put a kikar in there.
Kikar you could put in, yeah.
Why is there a difference between?
Tefillin is because tefillin first of all could be bizayon, and tefillin stam is always muktzah. You can't just move tefillin around with if you want. Kasvu b'shem gon, mishem gon. Shemut l'omar and Yehudi lahatz svarim in adleika. You're allowed to. You tell a goy to save the svarim from like I feel derech reshus harabim, even derech shus harabim. You're allowed to mirror la'akum is mutter in this case. Kol ma shemutter lahatzav le'adleika mutter lahatzav imayim yishar dvarim ha'abdim. If you have a flood coming or a hurricane or I guess whatever the thing might be, you're allowed to, and you're saving yourself. You're allowed to save those things as well. V'shelamata v'shebin parsha parsha v'shebin daf l'daf shebchilas ha'sefer l'sof ha'sefer ein matzilim like so let's say if the first daf of the sefer Torah is rake, it's separate, or whatever reason they're cut, I don't know, whatever the case may be, those don't have kedusha and you shouldn't save them. If they're separated, right? Obviously, the part of for some reason let's say you had a sefer Torah and the first section was cut off or whatever it was, so then you'd have to leave that. Apikorsim, dahainu hadukim b'avodas kochavim. Apikorsim, we're talking about someone who's aduk in avodah zara or kfira, things like that. V'chein mumrin avodas kochavim. I'm talking about meshumadim, people who've converted to other religions. Shekasu lehem kisvei kodesh, they wrote their own kisvei kodesh. Ein matzilim oisam. You're not allowed to save those. Vaf bechol sorfan. You're supposed to burn them. Ima askaras shebehem, because the askaras are not l'shem Hashem, l'shem avodah zara, and therefore you're chayiv to go ahead and to destroy them. The Mishnah Berurah brings that Choziyair was matched to melt down the coins that they had in Sweden. They used to have coins that Shem Hashem on the UK Vavke, because they weren't, they weren't set for Kedusha. So therefore you'd be allowed to melt it down. An interesting shayla I've heard, but what about that, in the American coins says, in God we trust. There are those, one God or whatever, who take them out of his pocket for going into the bathroom. So there could be, they had kavana, I don't know exactly why.
Considered ksiva. Just had the sugya and gift in a couple days ago. The imprint on the coin.
It says okay, but it says it was nitbu. Okay, that we're going to get into that.
Separate issue. It could be it was matter, but it's not. It's
Yeah.
not considered that.
Right, that's what yeah. So Akopanim, but even if it's Shem Hashem, I don't know, someone had a shayla, I remember someone told me, that in Columbia, I don't know if it's true, I wasn't there, at Columbia University there's a big UK Vavke on the floor of the library.
And on their materials.
Yeah. So he asked the Shaila, am I allowed to walk on it? But you are, because it's not, according to this, it wasn't meant for any sort of kedusha, it was just meant as a fun symbol, I don't know, No, it wasn't meant for Kedusha's shame. It was just as the tetragrammaton, whatever. It's an ancient thing. Whatever, different religions. That wasn't meant for Kedusha. So therefore, it's a little gara from Apikorsim writing it in Torah, there's no problem. Teva she'achaz ba'or, if you have a box, a chest or something where it caught fire. Yachal lifrois or shel gedi mitzida. Well, to put goat skin on it. Mitzida achar shel tisraf, it'll stop it from burning it. You're allowed to make a mechitza of any sort of kli to sort of stop the fire from spreading. Even if it's a new ones that are full of water. That they will put it out. The gram kibui muter. So for example, let's say you fill up 10 garbage bags full of water. I don't know how you keep it closed, but let's say you have a cinch bag, whatever it is. So you're allowed to stick them in front of the fire, so that they'll definitely melt it and open up. That's okay, Malcolm Seder. If your house is going up, you'd be allowed to surround. Let's say the table's on fire, so you'd be allowed to surround the fire with big bags of water. Even though the heat gets to the plastic, it'll melt it, it'll open up. That would be fine. Malcolm Seder, that it's going to cause a pseda if it's in the middle of nowhere. Don't worry, you shouldn't do that. Talish achaz bahor.
And pour water around the table?
That also.
Even more.
That also. Yeah, that also. We're gonna get to that. Water, we'll get to it in a minute. Talish achaz bahor, if you have a tablecloth, a talus, whatever that caught fire. Poshta miskasava is a talus. So you put it on and off, and if it's a little fire, you put it on and off, it's gonna, and it'll go out by itself. You don't have to worry about that. Has to be, have no kavanah specifically to put it out. I mean,
How would that work?
yeah, exactly.
Something on fire.
Yeah. A flaming hat trick. I don't know. I'm not really, you have to have kavanah that you're wearing it also, I guess. It is a little bit, you have to, I guess, a certain type of person. Yeah, a certain type of person doesn't care about, I don't know. No, that would be a problem. You go on, whatever. Yeah, Hagar, mutter lichtois kara on there, shel teichas b'kaira. You're allowed to put, kara is a bowl. The question here, it's whether it's vadai kibui or not, gram kibui. If it mamash goes out the second you put it on, then the chor is a problem. Here we're talking about a case where it's not going to go out the second you put it on, so it's a gram kibui. Chavdalid, yesh arm she'en yachal litin elav mashkim, sheyichbet k'shiyagi elehem. You're not allowed to put water around, or liquids around so that it goes out when it gets to it. Yesh arm she'muter lasas kain, b'shar mashkim chutz v'noyim. We're talking about a case of it's on the talis, not on the table. On a talis, because you're getting to a shaila of libun. Some say, that you're muter to put wine, Fanta, I don't know, whatever it is around, it's called water, but mishum kibus, right, because that's, because it's kibus, yishmatim afilu b'mayim, it's nearing that you're allowed to go ahead and put water around, even though you're shail of kibus, so it doesn't make a difference. So you'd be allowed, if there's a fire on the table, or if there's a tablecloth, you'd be allowed to put water around it so that it would go out when it hits it. Chavei, any Yehudi shabar l'chabois, ein tzarich, l'mchois biyado. Fire department comes, the goyim come here, I don't know, if they come to just put out the fire, or just neighbor comes and, with a bucket of water, you don't have to be moiche, because generally you do have to be moiche if a guy comes to do malacha. If you're here, you don't have to be moiche. V'katan shabar l'chabos, but your kid comes to put it out, tzarech limchos biyado, you have to explain to him that, you're not allowed to do that because the stomach, if he's putting it out, he's putting it out for his parents, and there's an isser for a kid to do malacha for his parents. Because the isser is a chiyuv shvisa of the parents on their kids. They can't do malacha for them. If they're doing it for themselves, I don't know, it's if he's terrified, I don't know, it could be remote, I don't know. It's that the post can say because you better just take him out. Like why is he putting the fire out? Like, he doesn't want his parents' stuff to get lost. Maybe if it's in his room, it's different. I don't know. But that's that we had before the general rule that Cotton is not allowed to do malacha for his parents unless he has some benefit out of that malacha.
What about for a neighbor?
For a neighbor is right. It's one second. I think here he says if you know about the Chabas like about here's the Mishnah Berurah that even if he wants to put out the neighbor's thing, it's not only for the parents, it's also for any gadol. The Shabbat says you should also be porish.
If you see kids that are old enough that are digging holes in the ground shop, you can put it.
Right, you can tell them to stop. Right.
Or kids catching lizards.
Well, no, but that's for themselves. That's the thing. That's for themselves. If they're doing holes in the ground for you, if they're doing it for themselves, you should also tell them. Right, but that's a different did. That's that's Chinuch here is saying that is mamash an isser if he's doing it for his parents. Yachal lomar b'fnei eino Yehudi kol mechabe enu mafsid. If they're going around and goes, hey, listen, anyone wants to wants to put it out, call the fire department. There's no problem. You can call the guy and say, look, there's a fire. If it gets put out, that would be great. He'll see it. He's going to call the fire department or put it out himself. Anything which happens, sudden, it's a sudden, the fire breaks out. Or any other nezek that suddenly his big wine barrel breaks open. We'll see the next simon. And Yehudi that we said in the past by Hilchos Amir La'akum, it's still also for malacha to call a goy also to come is also people make this mistake. It's only the certain times that it's mutter. It's not to call a goy over and say, wow, it's dark. It's also. You can't call a goy over. He's walking by, it's something else. Maybe he's goes into your house or something like that. But Chopanim here, it is mutter to call them over, and they'll call the fire department or something like that. Hagav v'chol dinim an nizkarim b'dini hadleika hani mili b'yimeim. That was in the time of Chazal. But v'zvan hazeh she'en shurim bein einan Yehudim. Not only because of it's because of the goyim will get upset, different things. Even if there's no sakana for the Jews themselves, but there's the goyim it's going to cause problems. Nowadays you're allowed to put it out and even let's say in Eretz Yisrael there's a shaila of if there's a gas line, or chas v'shalom, even if I find stone, but there's a gas line, or even given the electrical fire, it could cause problems. Any of these things, it could go ahead and have a chashash l'chanas nefashos. It is mutter to put it out. Now, Zarius arezim meshubach, and mikol makom akol lefi ha'inyan, di'im hayu betuchim vada shlo yehem sakana b'davar, also l'chabos, if you know for sure there's not going to be any danger, then and you can't put it out. Of al chashash sakana safek, Motor l'chabos field dleika bebeisa she'en Yehudi, even if it's in a goy's house, if there's a sakana to v'chei noagim, if dafka l'chabos dleika havelacha she'en tzricha l'gufa. Again, the reason it's mutter is because kibbutz over here is l'cha she'en tzricha l'gufa. You don't the yesh sakana in lo yichabe. But also l'chal Shabbos ilahatza mamon. But to go ahead and to do other chil Shabbos, to be matzil your mamon is aser. It's only a machashin tzricha l'gufa will be mutter. V'im avar b'chil tzarich l'sanos abar yom stam. It's a stam important point that if a person is chal Shabbos, then he has to be misana abar yom sheni b'chamishi leish l'yayim leichol basar, drink wine or meat. In machem chatas yudches pshiti l'tzedakah. Nowadays they say you give tzedakah, or a person learns extra, or things like that. They don't know they're doing the.
Putting out the fire would be okay, but if he ran in and took money out into.
No. Or it's a Rishus Harabim. Even nowadays, if there's a Rishus Harabim.
When does this apply?
I was talking about, any other malacha d'oraisa that he would have to do to go, like I said, hoitzate, so Rosh Hashanah is a simple case, but I'm sure whatever, you can probably think of other malachos.
But it's malacha gemara.
Yeah. In year to leave the Tatanis, eating ba'al kol yom, shneim es pshitin and tzedakah, a certain amount of tzedakah to give. After Yeridea, some also said nowadays it's Tanis Dibor, and that's say Lashon Hara, a whole bunch of different ways to have kapara. Chav Zayin. You see coal or any other dangerous thing in the place outside in the street where people can get hurt by it. This is a fire, you're allowed to put that out. Beinim hi shemateches, beinim hi shel eitz. Rambam oisav b'shel eitz, he asks b'shel eitz because it creates it creates a pecham, and there will be, and therefore it's a blacha gubor. He would ask it. Obviously, sakanos tefashos. That's a different case. But so too, and that's what Shulchan says. So too, if this is a fire, he says it can't be if there's a fire. It's not going to possibly cause people passing by can get hurt, things like that. So therefore, even if you see a fire in the field, of course, you call the fire department to put it out, because it could definitely spread and damage people. So therefore, that's the general halacha, and so only something which is, like I said, is vaday, 100% sure there's no sakana, then you could play around with it, otherwise, put it out. Fine, we'll stop here.